Hello, I'm announcer Jesse Sanchez. Just do like
Oh no,
regular.
I try. I'll do cuts and stuff, but it's for them if they want to use it or choose it.
Yeah. Oh, LinkedIn Live is not working. Oh yeah, it is. There it is.
20 seconds.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Two seconds. We're coming up.
Thanks. That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. Joining our live audience there, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube Live, Periscope TV, LinkedIn Live, and much, much more. Don't forget, we're also on the Alexa app. Glad to have you with us. On today's show, we got a lot of information coming in from around the world as well as local. We got Mr. Jesse Sanchez over there, kicking it up over there. What's going on, Jesse?
Good morning. How are you?
Oh. Good. I'm doing good. How are you? Jesse's making sure all of our network is ready to go, right, Jesse?
Yeah, I'm just pushing buttons. Some things were turned down, some things were turned way down.
Got it. Okay, so quick question of the day. Lots of news stories coming in from our own backyard, some of which are not the best, like this one. LA County COVID-19 deaths surpassed 11,000, hospitalizations top 8,000. The coronavirus pandemic continues to produce soaring hospitalization numbers in LA County, with COVID-19 patients surpassing the 8,000 mark. Jesse, I don't know about you. I've recently had a little bit too much of a personal story with family members actually feeling really bad and in the hospital, some having to go in, some thankfully coming back out and are hopefully going to be taken care of. But I just got a text message from a friend last night that I've been trying to get a hold of, and they said they just had a death of a friend who died from COVID. It's a very difficult time to be alive. Would you agree?
Oh, yes, most definitely. It's such a weird time to be alive right now.
Yeah, and I feel as though a lot of people need to be reminded that, again, we're still in it to win it. We're still in it to fight it, and we're still in it to not give up. I know one of the conversations that happened over the last couple of days with a friend who I'm really hoping gets this out of their head, which is, well, you got to prepare for the worst. And I'm like, okay, prepare for the worst when it happens. But first of all, do your due diligence. If you have a family member in the hospital, be very aware of what's going on. Be very aware of the nurses, of the doctors, of the numbers that are coming in, because sometimes they switch so fast, especially in ICU. I don't think people understand how quick ICU numbers can switch like on a dime. Granted, they have, technology to keep track of certain things, but sometimes one doctor makes a recommendation one day and the next doctor makes a different recommendation another day. I know I faced that with my sister situation way back when in February. And what I will tell everybody is, when you are an advocate for yourself, make sure to team up with other people that are advocates as well. Do research, go online, find another healthcare professional which is outside of the district that you're in, and find out more info, because sometimes you're going to get false and wrong information, even from doctors that don't want to tell you the way it is because they think you can't handle the information. I know I had that situation happen a couple of times. And sometimes you just have to put your foot down and say, no, I want to know the truth. Here's what it is. Give it to me straight. That way I could at least call and or find somebody that knows the information, or do the research if you have to, but be an advocate for somebody else. In this situation, it's really bad and it's really sad because, a couple of the family members are actually not in touch with other people because they're not allowed to be in touch with other people. One of the discussions that was had was, you're going to have a FaceTime video call, but that never happened as of Monday. So obviously, I'm not saying that our healthcare system is broken. I'm just saying that there's communication that needs to happen with family members that need to know what's happening in people's lives. Meaning, if you have a pre-existing condition and you may may be at a very high risk or even a low risk. Make sure that you have somebody that is not in your house and or outside that knows in the event that you go into the hospital, or worse yet, I've been thinking of those that have family members and they have kids at the house and the kids are trying to take care of the parents and or the adults, and all of a sudden something happens in the middle of everything because everybody's self-isolating, so nobody's checking up on somebody. So if you suspect that maybe there's a couple people that haven't come out of their house, check in on them, or find out if they're okay, make a call to the necessary authorities, do a welfare check at the very end of the day. You could do that, and they could check up on people that may all of a sudden, who knows. I don't know how many people could be self-isolated right now, try to fight coronavirus, and then either wake up at a very difficult time or delirious and don't know where they're at. Does that make sense, Jesse?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So again, these are just warnings that I'm giving out there for whoever needs to hear it, because the numbers have surpassed, I think, what some had predicted. I remember talking to my mom. I thought for sure by the end of December we'd hit 400,000, which we're pretty close to, but the numbers are, I believe, 368,000 currently in the U.S. Or how many deaths are currently in the U.S., Jesse?
Actually, that sounds pretty accurate because I remember we were talking about it yesterday, and I think the numbers were at like in the high 300,000s.
Yeah, it was definitely passing 350,000. I think the latest, I'm trying to get that information, but it's significantly higher. And again, due to the fact that I'm just going to read this again for people that don't understand, because I've seen people out in public and I've seen some still not wearing face masks. I've seen some just kind of be like, it's okay, it's not a big deal. And I kind of go, all right, I don't understand their mentality because these things are currently happening. The coronavirus pandemic, again, has passed the 8,000 mark. Medical centers contending with limited staffing and difficulties discharging less critically ill patients to free up beds. The county reported another 224 coronavirus-related deaths on Tuesday, one of the highest single-day numbers of the pandemic. It was unclear if the high total was the result of a delay in reporting from the holiday weekend, but health officials noted more than 1,000 people have died from the virus in the past week alone, pushing the countrywide death toll over the 11,000 mark, reaching 11,071. According to numbers released, the LA County had a pandemic high of 8,023 patients in hospitals, including 1,642 in intensive care units. The county's 70 911 receiving hospitals with emergency rooms have a total licensed capacity of about 2,500 ICU beds, although in recent weeks they have implemented surge plans and staffed a daily average of about 3,000 ICU beds. As of Tuesday, there were no longer any local hospitals on internal disaster status, which occurred at some facilities over the weekend, shutting them off to all levels of ambulance traffic, meaning they cannot accept anymore. The situation remained critical at hospitals as they struggled to handle the unending stream of new patients. Dr. Christina Galley, the County Health Services Director, said countywide for all hospitals, the issues are really the same. All hospitals are working through staffing issues. Many are working through infrastructure and oxygen supply issues, which are complicated and numerous. Galley said that almost all hospitals over the weekend diverted advanced life support ambulances due to overcrowding in the emergency department. Now, this is another thing that I think many of you have seen happen if you have been on the streets as of late. Usually you'll see an ambulance hurrying or a fire department hurrying or officers hurrying in one location. Move over, get to the side. Time is of the essence, and they have to rescue as many people throughout the day and every day as they keep getting these coming in. Remember, it's not all about you. It's about those that are sick and are suffering right now. And if circumstances surround all of a sudden you want to make sure that people, have you ever been taken away in a gurney in an ambulance, Jesse?
I was told I was in an ambulance one or two times, but you know what? Honestly, I was knocked out at that time, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I've been taken out a couple of times, and I'll tell you right now, you're the EMTs, when you're surrounded by good, caring EMTs, you feel taken care of. But when you feel that they rock you, that people not moving out of the way, you're like, damn it, get out of the way. Sorry, I probably should have said that, but that's how you feel, Just it's just get out of the way. I need to get to the hospital. I remember I had a horrible concussion in the front when I got in a really bad accident, very bloody situation, and thankfully I survived. But I'll tell you right now, I honestly probably would have gotten a lift or another because the cost of an ambulance is so high. But I will say when it's due to EMTs throwing their life into the mix, and of course trying to keep you alive, pay attention to what they say. Fire department comes out, pay attention to what they say. They have to remain calm and collected, but they also have to remain safe, and they have to be safe from coronavirus as well. So they have protocols. Follow it to the T. Make sure to be cognizant of that and make sure to do the right thing by those that are trying to help you out. All right. Okay. Let's see. Let's go to social media chat room and let's see. Stefan is tuning in. Stefan Barbara, thank you for tuning in. Rosalie says, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Rosalie. Good to see you. Maria says, good morning to everyone. Stephanie Reed says, hello. Happy editing this glorious day for today's busy, chilly day ahead. Yeah, I'm sure it is over there, right? Tuning in from Cleveland, Ohio. Maria says, I had 5 family members with COVID-19. All of them are in the US of A. So far, all of us in Canada are safe. And I will say, yeah, here in the US, in just the coming weeks, people are already looking at potential bigger surges. And I know this because, a situation came up. Many of those that know that my sister is profoundly deaf and, of course, severely disabled. They want to move her from one location to another because nobody's thinking about the kids with disabilities. And sadly, the type of protocols that they have for adults, right? Like practice social distancing, practice this, that, and the other. How can kids that have limited awareness, but they have full awareness of routine, all of a sudden that are sequestered to a room and or having to wear a face mask, all of a sudden they say, in essence, you can't go out, you can't do anything. You just, there's nothing you can do. How do the kids understand? So my sister doesn't understand. So they want to move her from one facility that she's been in for like 20 some years, great staff, great people, to a brand new facility where she has at least a little bit more freedom to move around, because evidently the California system has not figured out how to do it for kids with special needs or special disabilities, that they can make them at least have some alone outside time. Do you know what I mean? Because they used to take them, they drive them in a van. They don't do that anymore. But what I mean is, take them out. They can look, walks are still possible, right? Walks outside are not a bad thing. Gets outside of your house if you can. And of course, get some sun in, right? There's nothing against that. Absolutely. And at least do that. But, with kids with special disabilities, how do you help them with that? So that's something that I had to deal with in the next coming days as well. What are we going to do with that? I'd rather her stay with where she's at because they know her personality and they really love her like she's family, which some locations, if you have a special needs kid, it's rare that you find a home where they love them as much as their own like family, like daughters, so that's very rare. Maria says US deaths are currently 366,252. Yeah, so that was right. So we're nearing up to 400,000 probably by February or mid-February. And again, these are numbers that sometimes people forget. Every number, especially when it hits home and you have a family friend. Like I said, in one home, 2 are in the hospital. One thankfully came back and she's elderly, but she waited 10 hours. They gave her what they needed, said they didn't have to hospitalize her, and she went back home and she's recuperating. So that's the good news. The bad news is one of them is already on life support and the other is hopefully doing and faring better. But again, numbers don't tell the full story of how bad of an impact that could have on an entire family and or anyone. So again, for those that like to throw caution in the wind, I say don't. You don't want to be on the receiving end of that. Let's see. Maria says they have a storage of healthcare workers that keep asking us for help. I think she's talking about, is that the US is asking for Canada's help, I believe? Yeah, that makes sense. And what did you want to say, Jesse?
Oh, no. I was just telling her if the people that come down here, because we need healthcare workers. So the people that actually come here and risk their lives for if they contract COVID. Yeah, no, they're pretty much they're angels to me.
That's a good way of putting it, because we have a lot of people putting themselves literally in the fire of everything. And if we care enough, we got to care about those around us. We got to care about those that are putting their lives on the main home front of, what was called once, a war against an unseen enemy. I don't call it a war against an unseen enemy. I say we know who the enemy is, so let's take it out, literally. All right, people, we got to be right back with more right after these messages. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. That's delicious. All right, we're on a commercial break here. Got Mr. Jesse over there. And Jesse, what's new in the world?
Oh, a lot of things are new. It depends on what you want to listen to.
Okay. Let's go to our Facebook family. What's new in the world? What do you guys know about we should talk about? I've got a couple things here, something on our radar.
40 seconds. I read one article, I laughed so hard, and then as I was thinking about it, I'm like, wow, do people actually have this kind of mentality?
What?
And it's about meeting women in general or something like that. He was like, if you don't like American women, you could just go to Asia and pick up one. I'm like, what?
Oh, I've heard. Well,
10 seconds.
I've heard that. Well, there are a lot of women that want a green card, I will say. So
2 seconds, I know, but his mentality is just
no. But on the flip side, there's women that do that for the men that want a green card too. So
I know. Coming back.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Joining our live stream audience there, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, of course, Periscope TV, and Alexa. Don't forget the app that we have, which is free. Download it now, and you'll be glad you did. We have a lot of great programmers here at the station. KMET 1490 AM is where it's at. And Jesse, speaking of which, who can we look forward to today on our channel?
Oh, today, huh? We have Dave Levine, who likes to talk about Law and Order. So if you're a Law and Order fan, he's always great to listen to. After your show, you have Here's to Your Health, and he has a lot of good stuff about like healthy products and stuff like that. So if you can listen to him, it's worth it.
Awesome. So there you go. Don't forget Dave Ramsey, of course, coming up at, I believe, what, 11 o'clock, I want to say? 11 to
11 to 1. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So he's really good too. Let's see. Marianne, social media says, pray for me. I go there Friday to start work on Saturday. She's talking about from Canada to the US. I'll be very safe, I'm sure. Take extra measures beyond what they recommend. I'm very overprotective as it is when I get a cold. No one has very gotten sick from me. No one has ever gotten sick from me. Thank God. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Let's see. Algenia as well. Says this from Georgia. Good morning. Have been checking on relatives and elderly friends. That's just who I am. I had to run a few errands. I covered like a ninja with mask and completely covered. Be safe, friends. All right, very good. So there you go. And it's true. You got to be safe. You got to be ahead of the game here in the situation. Currently, some things that we're looking at right now. Germany will extend their national lockdown that's been in place until January 10th, but they're extending until the end of the month. They will further tighten restrictions on movement and contact. Let's see. One hospital bed is offering their employees a $500 bonus if they get a vaccine. Oh, man, they're paying for people to get vaccines. I don't know how I feel about that, Jesse.
Yeah, that's a red flag warning right there. It's like they should automatically be taking it, correct?
I don't know, but if I got paid $500, I'd be like, does that pay my hospital bills if I end up sicker after it? I don't know.
Right.
A COVID-19 outbreak that tore through a New York convent infected 47 sisters and killed 9. Ouch. Okay, so again, like we said, you got to be careful of close quarters. If you're with many and somebody gets sick, immediately determine who has it. That is one of the things that I foresee being a problem as we try to bunker down and try to get everybody at least to try, financially to be able to make it. There's a lot of families trying to, save money, save rent, save a dime. And so they'll sometimes move in with other family friends. And sometimes that can happen. If one person gets it, all of a sudden everybody might get it. So be very careful out there. Don't be that person. And if you are by accident, that's one thing. But if you go out and intentionally participate in like a party I don't want to say this, but I feel like it has to be said for the next time that everybody wants to get together again. Why do we have this surge to begin with, Jesse? Based on our latest obvious numbers when it came to Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Right? Good question. Honestly, I can tell you right now, we're probably gonna get another spike soon.
Yeah, everybody says that. I wonder why though.
Maybe because those giant protests in Washington D.C. at the moment.
Got it. Got it. I wasn't looking at that. Okay. So, what are they protesting? Do you know?
Trump supporters want Trump to win the presidency. So
So,
yeah, I think that it's about that right now. They're about to certify Biden's win or something like that.
oh, that's right. We got. Oh, I see. I see. I see. I can see that happening. Okay. So I was told by somebody again. Remember, the cold and flu season is not over. I will tell you right now. I had another friend who actually had coronavirus, but also exhibited cold symptoms, and I said, "You probably have a cold. You need to help out the cold portion." And sure enough, that's exactly what it was. Like, no, it's COVID. The way you're sniffling and everything, it sounds like it's more of a cold in addition to COVID, which can and has happened. So be careful out there. Let's see. The Grammy Awards ceremony, which celebrates the best in music, has been postponed until March as coronavirus cases are skyrocketing in LA. So don't expect anything to happen there. Let's see. Oh, this is good. A woman who gave birth while intubated has named her ICU nurse as the baby's godmother. So that's I like that. It's a bad situation, but she's doing some good stuff over there. President Trump would not be welcome in Scotland due to coronavirus restrictions, says Scotland's leader. And South Korea will test every prisoner in the country for COVID-19. Those are some things that are happening around the world. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned. All right. For those of you tuning in, we're on our commercial break here. Let's see what our social media audience is saying. Jeannie says, friends, pray for all of us. Maria says, question, anyone not going to take the vaccine? It says, because you had lots of travelers and Trump spreader rally after another. Katya says, the vaccination started in Switzerland, first in nursing homes and health workers. My personal recommendation is for me and me alone. So I'll recommend what I've recommended to other people, but it's like advice. You take it or you don't take it. If you have the ability to wait at least till March, I believe fully there will be better vaccinations at that point. I think right now it's called let's test through the number system. And with any vaccination, if at all possible, which I know some nurses, in order to work, you have to have a vaccination. So there's that. But as a group mentality, everybody taking it right off the bat, there's a lot of things that I think we're going to see in the next coming months from several of the early adopters of the vaccinations, which we're going to see some problems with. I could be wrong, but there you go. I mean, anybody that knows anything about any vaccines when they're brand new, happen to know there could be problems. Here's one. Let's see. By dw.com, risks and side effects of vaccination. Here's an overview of some things that you might get.
30 seconds.
Do you want to talk about them or no?
What, the side effects?
Yeah.
It's up to you.
It's kind of boring, huh?
I'm pretty sure people will know the side effects. More research.
They don't. They just go, hit me with it. What's that song?
Hit me, baby, one more time.
No, not that one.
Okay.
God.
Give me some vaccine. You got 2 seconds. We're coming back.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. Join our live stream audience there, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope TV, and more. Glad to have you with us. A question mentioned earlier on our social media audience is anybody not going to take the vaccine? Personally, I will say, and I'm kind of this way for myself personally, when it comes to like the flu vaccine shot, I usually steer away from it. But for my mom, I didn't steer away from it because she's at high risk. So I have to take, based on her age, based on her other complications that she has in her body, doesn't make sense for her to get it. And I was adamant that she get it. And she was adamant that she get it technically. And we made sure that she got it. Right. I don't want to give her out her age, but long story short, she has pre-existing conditions. And thankfully she's been good. And thankfully she hasn't got coronavirus at all. Like I said, sometimes she gets a little stir crazy and told a couple of people, he's not letting me go out. And I'm like, okay, go out, have fun with that. But sometimes you have to be that way with your family members. You're like, okay, then you know what? Fine, go and get coronavirus for all I care. And then she goes, wait, what? So, but sometimes you got to take them for a drive, in the car, in the vehicle, be safe, carry your face mask, and just show them what it's like out there. I don't know if you've gone through certain areas of like downtown Riverside or any other areas, but how would you describe it, Jesse?
I have not visited Riverside at all since the coronavirus happened. Not at all.
I will say it's, I visited Whittier recently and I said, okay, it looks different. Completely different. And those that know any area, all of a sudden, if you took just like a snapshot, you would think in some areas it was like a few years into the future, right? Not just like months into this, because there's some areas that just have an outdoor. I know in Whittier they have an outdoor section, which I'm like, they have it looks like honestly like it went back into the Western times, because you have little structures with like and you know how old wooden structures would be on the outside. That's how I think it's downtown or uptown Whittier looks. I'm like, this looks like a Western town. What the heck is going on? So, and they block off, you know, the middle of the street, and it's just, you know, it's just, it's not anything we want to see. It's not anything you want to experience, but it's reality right now. And so sometimes you have to remind your family members. And I do say, and I do recommend, if they can, if they don't have coronavirus, take them out on a drive. Okay, take them out on a drive in the vehicle. Shoot, you know, if there's a good movie at the drive-in, take them to that. Or just take them for a drive throughout the day and get them out. Put on a face mask. If they're not sick, you're not sick. You know, what's the harm? It's not like you're going to get coronavirus from being out. I personally have not heard anybody getting it from like being at the beach. Does that make sense? I haven't heard of that, because you got good coastal air. I mean, viruses happen all the time, but usually outside. It's just, like in close proximity to another person, I understand. Swapping of saliva, I understand. There's certain things, but it's not. I think we need to kind of get through to the masses that at the same time, it's not like if you go outside and you look at the sun, or you pay attention to some good green grass or some nice beach weather, that you're all going to get. Now, the problem does happen when you come in close proximity to others. You don't wear face masks. You know, you swap saliva with somebody that's sick with a cold or a flu, right? That's called making out. You know, you're right. Your significant other, they're sick. You know, you're going to get sick. You swap saliva, that's going to happen. So call it what you will, making out, French kissing, whatever. I say, hey, have it. Be fun with it when, you know, they're your selected partner for life, because you definitely don't want to be that person who is a douchebag visiting a bunch of girls and be like, okay, I'm gonna get everybody sick. Then you got STDs on top of it. It's just a big problem. What? I trust me, there are people doing it left and right and center. I'm just saying, be open and honest about your situation, so nobody goes, I'm sorry, what? All right, people, we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. What? I'm telling the truth. This happens in real life. I'm sure it does. All right, we'll be right back. No truth to the rumor. Anybody I date, Jesse, I say, look, let's have an open relationship. If you want to cheat, just let me know, because I don't want to be caught unaware with something that I was unaware of. Do you know what I mean?
Right? Just be honest.
Just be honest.
Like, you don't want to be together anymore? Just let me know.
Yeah, don't double dip over there. Shoot, I don't want their germs. I don't need my, you know what I mean? Now's not the time to double dip, people.
Right? He don't need the herpes.
Be committed. Be committed. No, I've always had this thing, like, because I remember I would date certain people and they'd be like, oh, I'm seeing this other person. I'm like, okay, well, thanks for letting me know. We're not seeing each other anymore. And then there's like, they're seeing somebody, but then there's like romantically involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and you're like, well, what do you mean you're seeing them? Oh, okay. So you haven't made, all right, that's cool, but just let me know, right? Because I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be surprised.
Right? And then you wake up one day with a giant cold sore on your lip. You don't need that. Well,
80% of people get cold sores, which technically,
Yeah.
So kissing is just, that's if you're by the age of 45, guaranteed you've kissed somebody that has that. Now, you don't want to kiss them when they have it, because they're more, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a thing. But I'm talking about like the serious stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'd rather not name those.
You wake up and you're like, what's going on over there? You don't want to be that person. That's all. So if you're in a relationship, make sure that your significant other is 100% in it to win it. Otherwise, you're just. Let's see. Katya Wunderland says, I believe our scientists, and trust me, married people understand this. They go, you know what? At least I don't have to worry about that situation. In dating life, oh, God. Right?
Oh, yeah. 50 seconds.
Oh, you say, oh, the new movie. Yeah, Shadow in the Cloud. I saw that.
You saw the movie?
I did.
Is it any good?
It's okay.
Okay.
It's The actress I liked her. They must have made it during coronavirus because there was a lot of like alone time. Like it wasn't, it was all right.
Okay.
I think there's better movies out there.
20 seconds. Yeah, that's the only one that I know that got released. I'm still looking for some good ones.
It's you might like it. It's different. I actually saw it at the drive-in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
2 seconds. Coming back.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Joining our live stream audience, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope TV, LinkedIn Live. Glad to have you with us. On today's show, we're talking about coronavirus. Yeah, I know. We kind of sidestepped it for a couple days, and I thought, well, as much as I don't want to go back to it, I feel we need to because we need some reality given the circumstances in our own sphere of influence. And with Jesse here, I know typically we like to talk about fun. So what fun or weird stuff is going on out there? Because I understand the UFOs. There's been no update on that. What's going on?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything recently about any new UFO sightings, but I'm still excited for But I think we're talking about the declassification, or the Pentagon's supposed to let loose some like UFO stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, my question is, are they actually going to do it, and will any of it be legible? Something that's not like redacted and blacked out, so that I want to know this stuff.
No, I get what you're saying. It's like when they put certain UFO like footage, you're like, it's so grainy, it's hard to see. You don't have better technology to like our iPhones take better pictures and photos, like, can you just give me a better snapshot of that? I'm pretty sure they give 2 or 3 and then they're like, okay, that's it. And they did it during the middle of coronavirus. I don't know if you remember that, but back in March and April, they had a lot of like release of UFO tapes from, I believe, the Navy and Air Force. And again, these things are nothing new. You look at Ancient Aliens and it makes you go, these people are not so crazy. They actually know something. So I think, I hope that we're past the idea of people are crazy if they've seen a UFO. I think it's almost becoming second nature now. And I think people are kind of ready for the idea of it. Or are they? I don't know. What do you feel, Jesse?
I want to say some countries are ready. Obviously the more religious countries will not. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the world in general reacts if they show themselves.
Yeah, you know what I say to religious countries and or religious people? I say, what did you think God was going to do? He's just going to stop at creating humans only? Right? Like, right? Like, hello, there's other planets, there's universes and galaxies. I don't think Creator goes, I'm only going to create humans and that's it. So, I think there's a lot more information out there that we sometimes have to be open to, but I don't think it gets rid of God entirely. I think even other worlds have some type of ability to go, well, it's not like we set up everything as it is going, right? There's got to be a more unseen force around there. So I don't think it completely gets rid of the idea of a creator and or a God, but there you go. And then there's different gods, right? There's like demigods, there's harmful gods, there's bad gods, there's ones that want you to sacrifice babies to them. I mean, there's those type of gods. So you don't want to serve those gods. But there you go, right? And then there's Greek gods, there's Roman gods, there's what other kind of gods are there, Jesse?
Hindu gods. I don't know. I'm trying to dip into other people's cultures and stuff. But yeah, I think every culture has their own set of gods. Some are nice, some are, let's just say, not so nice, where they eat people.
Yeah.
So let's hope we get the good ones.
There you go. That's what I'm going for. And I'm sure some aliens posed as gods, right? I think Ancient Aliens talks about that on their show, that there's some that were perceived as gods, but they were actually like a higher force of intelligence of some sort. So I can see that happening. Let's see. Maria says, I would love to see an alien in person if they showed up near me. You know what? Sometimes I pray for it. I kid you not. Sometimes I'm like, I need to be at least, I don't know about abducted. I just want to be visited. You know what I mean? Let's see. So Maria says, Greek gods rule, but only in mythology for me. Yeah, so let's see. Algenia says the only aliens is evil humanity on Earth flying around latest technology. Why you guys are sleeping supersonic vehicles? Okay, so there you go. In the rest of the world, there's a lot going on. Coronavirus is still alive and well. There's entertainment we could talk about. My question to everybody is, what do you want to talk about for the next 13 minutes? And we'll talk about it. You guys type it in social media. This is one of the few social media / radio channel online live shows where we can actually literally just say, what do you guys want to talk about every now and then? Right, Jesse? Rarely do we stick by the book on one simple thing. I think, right, your mom kind of was like, she was listening. She goes, why are you talking about aliens at the beginning of the week? Remember that, Jesse?
Yeah, she was all like, why are you guys talking about aliens? It's like, am I watching the History Channel? I'm like, no, this stuff is actually...
Dang! She outed us like that with the History Channel? Dang!
She goes straight to that.
Wow. That's kind of a low blow because History Channel is kind of like...
Uh-oh, talking bad about the History Channel?
Well, does she like the History Channel or does she not? I'm confused by that statement. I feel a little like...
Okay, well, let me get this. Okay, so unless she sees the thing at the end, or a lot of times where she'll get fooled. Like, I don't know if you remember, like 10 years back, Discovery Channel did a mermaid mockumentary.
I do remember that. I never watched it, though.
Now, I don't know if you heard what I said, but I said mockumentary. So it's a documentary. Some people don't even know that's a thing. So after that show, like my brothers and my mom, they're like, oh my God, mermaids are real. I was like, did you watch the end of the program? She's like, no, I left at the last 5 minutes. Oh, okay. But yeah, at the end, it's all like, this is not a real documentary.
Yeah, but again, I'm confused. Does she like the History Channel or not? Or is that like...
No, she likes the History Channel, but I tell her take it with a grain of salt.
Oh, okay, because sometimes people look at History Channel and go like, "Oh, you guys are old fogies now." So I'm trying to wonder if she like thought we were old fogies. I watch
History Channel all the time. I love it.
Okay. Because History Channel could be kind of boring. I'm just saying. What other than the fun stuff? There's some stuff I'm just like, all right. I don't want to be the old person in the room. Does that make sense?
That's true.
All right, so there you go. All right, hopefully your mom doesn't think of us like that. But there you go. Everybody else in social media, let's see what you guys are saying. Dr. Dre, poor guy. Did you hear about him? Actually, I did not. Let's look that up. Dr. Dre, what's going on over there? The latest news we're getting up. Dr. Dre shares message after suffering a brain aneurysm. Oh, no. Oh, and then it's even worse. His house targeted in burglary attempt hours after he was admitted to the hospital. Oh, my goodness.
Of course it did. Everyone's all like, oh, he's in the hospital. Let's rob him.
Okay.
Do that.
Yeah, exactly. Dre posted a message thanking everyone for their love and support. This is as of this morning, minutes ago. He said, thanks to my family, friends, and fans for their interest and well wishes. I'm doing great, getting excellent care from my medical team. I'll be out of the hospital and back home soon. Shout out to all the great medical professionals at Cedars. One love. Dr. Dre is at Cedars Sinai Medical Center in LA after suffering a brain aneurysm. Sources connected to Dre and with direct knowledge, Dre suffered the aneurysm. This is according to TMZ, by the way. Was rushed by ambulance to Cedars and was taken directly to ICU, where he remains. Sources say the 55-year-old music mogul is stable and lucid, but doctors do not know what caused the bleeding, and they are doing a battery of tests. Dre is in the middle of a very contentious divorce with his wife, and there's that and then some. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. I don't want to throw out his business there. And then, of course, in other news, his place got targeted in a burglary hours after he was admitted to the hospital because people take advantage of the situation, Jesse. It's terrible.
Yeah, they do. It's like, I don't know. What goes through your mind when you hear, oh, this guy's in the hospital, let's go rob him? it. I don't know. I guess I'm just too nice of a person. These thoughts never cross my mind until they actually happen.
Yeah, literally, this is the information on that. His Hilltop LA home was the target of an attempted burglary. 4 suspects were arrested, according to the LA Police Department. LAPD officer Lizeth Lamelli confirmed that around 10 p.m. on Tuesday night, LAPD officers responded to a report of an attempted burglary in which suspects were seen coming over a hill near the 12700 block of Sharon Road in the hills above Brentwood. After a short pursuit, Lamelli said 4 suspects were arrested and an investigation is ongoing. A public trail runs to the immediate east of homes on this block. So there you go. That's probably how they found it. In 2014, the LA Times reported Dre paid $40 million for a Brentwood mansion owned by Tom Brady and Gisele Bundchen. The attempted break-in happened at roughly the same time that the news of Dr. Dre's aneurysm was announced. A spokesperson whose real name is Andre Young confirmed that he was admitted, and so we got that information, and there you go. So again, hopefully he'll feel better. I'm glad he got, because an aneurysm is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, you get a brain aneurysm, and I remember having a family friend, her mother had a situation with her brain, and she wasn't able to travel for quite some time because of the pressure that your brain and head can go through. So you have to watch that very carefully. And I'm glad it didn't end up to, I'm sure he's not out of the woods just yet. I'm sure he's going to be held for observation, and hopefully he'll be okay with that. So thank you for sharing that. And thank you, Maria, for sharing that on social media as well. Okay. Again, things I did not know that were happening. Very important. There's also other news in that same vein. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West are discussing divorce. Look at that. Who knew? I'm sorry, what, Jesse?
I'm surprised they lasted this long, honestly.
Well, the fact that they're discussing it, maybe they have hope. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying, but they've been through it all, I will say.
If you say so.
I hope, look, for marriage couples all around, this is not the time to separate from anybody.
Yes, that is true.
Do you know what I mean by that?
No.
If you can suffer through coronavirus with somebody and go through it all, man, when we're past the coronavirus, you're going to be that much stronger for it. Think about it.
I gotcha. Yeah, you are correct, though.
Yeah. So don't give up in the middle, because trust me, you know how hard it is to date right now? Nobody wants to see each other. They're like, I don't know if you have it. You're like, can we have a virtual date there? So it doesn't work. I'm telling you. So, and then what's sad is everybody's feeling sad, mad, and depressed. So they're like, yeah, whatever. And I'm just like, oh, come on. So there you go. Be there for one another and make sure to at least be or have a helping hand. Okay. Let's see. So Amy Poehler has a few questions before hosting the next Golden Globes. I guess, that's going to be happening around the corner. We'll see about that. Let's see. Here's, you guys want to see what her questions are? I like Amy Poehler. She's funny, right?
Oh, yeah. I like her. She's cool. She's funny.
According to this, Amy Poehler and Tina Fey are excited to return as hosts of the Golden Globes this year. Poehler says there are outstanding details that they need to figure out before the two take the stage. She says, we just have a few final questions. She says, when, how, why, where, and what? Just those. That's all we need to find out. Well, we're going to figure it out. Myers replied to Poehler, says, I think it will be a tonic for all of us to see the two of you in whatever arena it ends up being. I'm looking forward to it. Poehler and Fey previously hosted the Globes to rave reviews between 2013 and 2015. NBC announced in early 2020 they would return to the helm for a fourth time in 2021. The ceremony has been postponed from early January to February 28th due to the coronavirus pandemic. I don't know if they're going to have it or if they're going to have a modified version of it. What do you think, Jesse?
Honestly, they'll probably most likely have a modified version of it. But do people actually still watch the Golden Globes and all these award shows?
And last year's, it's been slowly on the decline. I will say the Golden Globes I watched last year. The Oscars, I think I was bored by it, but I don't think they're not going to meet in the same area that they normally meet, which is actually at the Beverly Hilton. I've been there. It's really tight. No, I guarantee it's going to be a virtual show. Guaranteed. No way you're gonna have people dining with each other with face masks on like they normally do. I just don't see it happening. I see it being like a virtual stage, which you could technically do, which I mean, we did with the La Femme Film Festival. There's an easy way to make it work. Whether they're going to do that or not, I have no idea, but it's definitely not going to be the same. I would be interested just to watch it just because there's nothing else worth watching as of late. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jesse.
Oh, no. I can find something to watch.
Okay, anything that you could suggest then?
If you haven't watched the Karate Kid or the Cobra Kai, get on that. The third season was just released a week ago.
Okay.
So that third season is just amazing.
I will say there's a couple things that I'm kind of interested in if I have time. Wanda Vision looks interesting. Have you seen that?
Yes, that does not come out till next Friday.
Yeah, it's a blend of classic television and the Marvel Cinematic Universe in which Wanda Maximoff, played by Elizabeth Olsen, I like her as that character, by the way, and Vision, played by Paul Bettany. Is that the same guy or is it a different guy?
Oh, same guy.
He looks like a different guy.
No, same guy. He just has hair.
Are you sure? Two superpowered beings living idealized suburban lives begin to suspect that everything is not as it seems. So are they like in a virtual world or what?
I can tell you, but it would probably ruin the show.
Oh, you're right. It is the same guy. Even better. Okay, I'm glad because I didn't want them to replace him. He looks a little different though. Let's see. Then there's this. How much time do we have? Okay, I'm gonna skip down. Vanderpump Rules is coming out. Dr. Seuss Horton, Here's a Who. Sammy Davis Jr., I've Gotta Be Me. The American Masters Program is the first major documentary to examine Sammy Davis Jr.'s talent and his journey for identity through the shifting tides of civil rights and racial progress during the 20th century America. That's going to be played on PBS. Much more. We're out of time, though. Be good out there. Remember, life is worth living. Live it well and be safe. Okay, everyone? All right, for the rest of you tuning in, there's a lot of stuff streaming pretty soon coming up around the corner. Dinosaur Season 1, the sitcom on Disney+, that's coming out. That's always good. Let's see. Bonnie and Clyde, Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway stars the real-life criminals Clyde Barrow and Bonnie Parker in the classic film, now going to be playing on Netflix. Gossip Girl, that's a thing. This was good. Face Off, going to be playing on Amazon Prime. Who doesn't love Face Off? And let's see, Go Dog Go for the kids. Handy and inventive pup Tag chase features about their best pal Scooch, solving problems and helping the citizens of Boston along the way. That's for Netflix subscribers right there. Let's see, a couple other things coming up around the corner. Austin Powers is now playing on Hulu, if you want to get that. Lara Croft Tomb Raider on Stars. Some of the things that you can stream as well. Trying to look for something that I've been wanting to see. Oh, Wolverine playing on Disney Plus. That was all right. It wasn't the best, but I'm sure for a good watch with the family, why not? All right, people. So I'm out of time. There it is. And what are you guys going to watch around the corner? Let us know. We want to know. Let's see. Maria says, here's another ET minute. Kanye West, Kim Kardashian to divorce. Report the couple is said to be ending the marriage of 7 years by Alex Young. I don't know. They've been talking about that for a while, right? I don't know. Maybe they're just done with it. I don't know. What's going to happen next? Who's on the horizon? Usually people don't end a relationship unless they have another relationship ready to go. Have you noticed that? So I'm wondering who has the other relationship ready to go. All right, people. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much for spending time with us. Adalberto's tuning in. Thank you, Adalberto. Great. Awesome day today. Good job. All right. So, look, we got a lot of stuff we could talk about. I could talk about coronavirus all day long, but I think a lot of people don't enjoy that type of discussion. If you guys want to discuss anything else, let us know on social media. We can always try to include that. I know we were doing a little bit of science and technology, and sometimes we get a lot of other questions about other topics, which we can help answer. And there you go. We have a lot of information at our disposal. So if you have a question about anything, let us know. If you have advice on anything, let us know. So there you go. And I'm ready to sign off. Unless you guys have something to say, feel free to chat about it. I have another 8 minutes that I could say whatever it is you guys want to talk about. All right. Since we are live, sometimes people forget having a live show is very difficult to have and to keep moving, but we do so in such a way that we can include all of your discussions. VR is a question. Yeah, Maria. I know VR is, I have it and I've had a chance to play around with it. I need to play around with it a lot more. What's the question about VR? Am I doing it or am I going to do more of it? The answer, I don't know. I've been so busy behind the scenes. I've had limited time with it. But there's a lot of cool VR apps that, again, I think people should go check out. Excuse me. Let me just drink some water here. Got little hiccups. VR. Let's see if there's any VR news. I know there's a lot of VR news coming up because VR is where it's at. Let's see here. I will ask anybody have any news about VR because I've been wanting to spend more time on it, but I just haven't had no time personally. The best VR headset for 2021 so far in a world, let's see, where there's a lot, the Oculus Quest has become the closest thing to a home VR console that's ever been available. VR is also in flux. Technology is ever evolving. VR games this year have been better than ever thanks to Valve's VR masterpiece Half-Life, Alyx, and more recently Star Wars Squadrons. I do got to play that. I haven't played it yet. You still have to decide whether you want a headset that plugs into your PC or console or choose a standalone option like Oculus Quest when playing a VR game. And currently, Oculus Quest 2 is the best, most affordable option for VR, but it requires a Facebook account to work. More changes will come. Companies like Qualcomm are building new chips that point to a wave of better standalone headsets at lower prices, including ones that plug into your phone. Not sure how I feel about that on your phone device, but I think with the new 5G ability, if you are in a good area with 5G, it might be better. But there you go. The mobile VR headset and phone-based VR headset like the Samsung Gear VR and Google Daydream are pretty much dead. Those are kind of like whatever. That's which I think did a lot of really bad ideas of VR. So people are like, I tried it, I don't like it. You got to try one of the newer ones to be able to appreciate it. A good number of the current iPhone, Android, and VR app options do not work with the old mobile VR goggles. If smartphone-based VR comes back, it'll be more likely in the form of small headsets that plug into phones via USB-C for VR content, VR gaming, and other uses. If you're a PC gamer, a solid gaming PC-connected VR headset offers the most versatile collection of software for an immersive VR experience. Lets you use the headset for creative and business tools, which I do recommend. I highly still recommend, and it's just going to be a thing. For the PlayStation VR, I would start to kind of get away from that. You have many more options on the PC device, and if you have a PC with a good headset, you could go pretty heavy, pretty long. I'm still getting one. I want one that actually is easy when you just lay down and just want to watch, because I will say it's a little obtrusive, but I like watching on when I have done it big screen VR, because you're like in a movie theater experience, and that's fun. That's actually really fun, and you could bring your friends in on it. So that's my recommendation for that. But I've just had no time, and then people in the hospital and people that are boy. And with people that are in the hospital, of course, trying to take care of them from afar, you got to take care of. All right. Let me drink some more water. Seriously. There you go. Any new games or projects is my question. Oh, that's a great question. I have no idea. And has your mom tried VR? She has, but the headset's a little heavy for her neck, which is why I want to get her, honestly, an Oculus. I want to do the Oculus so that, because they're very light and easier to use. So I kind of want that as well. So there you go. Let's see. Algenia says, latest supersonic technology, a great topic from Japan. You know what? I love Japan. Supersonic in what way? Like for a plane, a train. Let me look up the latest. Japan to begin mass production of a supersonic anti-ship missile. Is that what you're talking about? Or maybe she's talking about this one. Supersonic jet startup Boom Technology is now a unicorn. What does that mean? All right, I'm going to have to research this, but supersonic's a very broad topic. Japan to field new ASM-3A long-range supersonic anti-ship missile. Oh, that's massive. I have a feeling that's not what you're talking about, though. Oh, these bombs can really take out anybody, huh? So there you go. There's that. It's probably like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. All right, Algenia. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. I think you're probably talking about supersonic. Hold on. I feel like there's something you want to talk about, but I don't know which one it is. Because it's either defense mechanism, supersonic flight. Oh, this is interesting. I will bring this one up. This is interesting. Preparing for Earth-to-Earth space travel and a competition with supersonic airliners. Okay, this is a topic from NASA. Commercial space flight companies are preparing to enter a new market, suborbital flights from one place to another on Earth. Aiming for fast transportation for passengers and cargo, the systems are being developed by a combination of established companies such as SpaceX and Virgin Galactic. They really use the Galactic. Are we part of the Galactic Enterprise now? And new ones like Astra. I really think they got to stop using things that we've had Marvel and Star Trek words on. They got to use their own. Technical and business challenges lie ahead for this new frontier, and an important piece is the coming wave of supersonic aircraft, which could offer safer but slower alternatives to spaceflight. Safer but slower, but it's supersonic. These two different approaches could face off in the 2020s to be the future of transportation on Earth. I don't know who writes this stuff. I really don't. NASA spaceflight, you may need to look at your writers. I don't get that. Coming wave of supersonic aircraft, which could offer safer but slower alternatives to spaceflight. Super fast, not slow. The most prevalent concept for suborbital Earth-to-Earth transportation comes from none other than Elon Musk and SpaceX, primarily designed for transporting large payloads to Mars for the purpose of colonization. The next generation Starship launch system offers a bonus capability for transporting large amounts of cargo around Earth. Musk first presented this idea in 2017, envisioning suborbital space flights between spaceports offshore from major cities. These launch and landing facilities would be far enough to reduce the disruption of rocket launch noise levels and sonic booms produced by landing vehicles connected to land by a high-speed form of transportation such as speedboats or a hyperloop. Originally, these Earth-to-Earth flights were expected to use both stages of the Big Falcon rocket, since evolved and renamed to the Starship spacecraft and Super Heavy booster. In 2019, Musk revealed that these suborbital flights could instead utilize only the Starship vehicle with no booster, achievable for distances of approximately 10,000 kilometers or less. In order to meet thrust requirements, a single-stage suborbital Starship would include an additional 2 to 4 Raptor engines. Given the inherent danger of rocket-powered space travel, the Starship system will complete many, possibly hundreds of flights before flying passengers, with the first Earth-to-Earth test flights beginning as early as 2022. So that's some good news. That's just like, but again, I think if you're going to market that, just faster and safer, just because it's supersonic, right? All right, people, I'm out of time. Make it a good one. Let's see. People are looking this up. Here we go. Mario says the Lockheed Martin's X-59 QSST quiet supersonic technology is an American experimental supersonic aircraft being developed at Skunk Works for NASA's Low Boom Flight Demonstrator Program. Preliminary design started in February 2016, with the X-59 scheduled for delivery in late 2021 for flight test from 2022. Lockheed Martin technology. Awesome. Okay, so there we go. I think we got a little bit of all of it, right, guys? Okay, ladies, I should say, thank you very much. I like your technical. Wow, look at this. This is interesting. Okay, I just have to bring this up. This is something I haven't seen. Is this a real one? Oh, it's a render of the aircraft that they're trying to provide by NASA. Well, this is interesting. It kind of reminds me okay, I'm going to bring this up just because I think it's interesting. What do you think of this design? I think they could have used a better design, to be honest. I feel it's a little meh. Okay, that is the X-59 QSST aircraft. Is that the one that you guys just brought up? Yeah, that's the one. So that's a render. In order to better understand the effects of sonic booms, Lockheed Martin Skunk Works division, that's the one that they're developing. Powered by General Electric F-4 414 engine, the same as used in the Boeing Super Hornet fighter jet. Lockheed Martin test flights are scheduled to begin in 2021, followed by NASA. So there you go. Sonic booms are blah, 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 blah. And so there you go. So that's, looks like a big, as long as it's fast. I don't know if I'd want, I guess, would you want to travel on that? I don't know. Hey, if it goes fast and it gets there fast, not slow, then I'm all for it. All right, people, make it a great day. Whatever you do, remember life is worth living. Live it well. Bye-bye, everyone.